You're always afraid to take the first step because all you see is every negative thing 10 miles down the road.
Look, I didn't want the job.
It's not about the job. I don't care if you work for the government. But you can do anything you want. You are bound by nothing. What are you passionate about? What do you want?
I failed.
Why do we fall? So that we can learn to pick ourselves up.
You still haven't given up on me.
Never. You ever feel like nothing good was ever gonna happen to you?
Yeah, and nothing did. So what? I'm alive, I'm surviving.
It's normal to not know what you're doing. If you did, it wouldn't be called growth. High five your fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and carry on. Do you get tired, stressed, sad, hungry, frustrated, unfocused? Do you feel misunderstood? Great. You're human.
If you knew what you were doing, then you would be stagnating because you'd be doing nothing new.
Yeah, it's crazy to sometimes think like, what can happen if we decide, I'm going to see what happens when I decide that I am qualified. What happens when I decide for myself that I'm going to do something different? You know, one thing, Jocko Willink was in here last week, and one thing that's really been pressing with me that we discussed is staying motivated. And I have been finding myself more motivated, even when I do not feel like doing something, to do it. That my brain doesn't dictate how. My brain does not get to choose. My brain can feel a certain way, but it's not going to choose how I behave all the time. I just can't let it do it anymore. I'm going to have setbacks, I know. But if I'm feeling bad, that doesn't mean I'm doing bad. That doesn't mean I am bad. That doesn't mean that I can't still take some action. Because nothing changes and nothing changes, man. We'll sit around forever wondering, well, what if I... Until you say, yeah, I'm gonna take action. Nothing changes if nothing changes, man. And I'm not preaching at you. I'm just, I just want to remind you, because I've spent a lot of time in my life sitting around wanting things to change, and not being able to make them change, and not thinking I could. And I wish somebody had told me that earlier sometimes, that in order for something to change, there needs to be change.
Being cynical or skeptical, it's used as a proxy for being smart. The worst thing that anybody could be accused of is naive. Oh, you hope that everything was going to be good? I mean, that's cute. Like, don't worry, you'll learn.
Yeah.
People don't want to be naive.
You are a much more interesting person than you give credit for, because you're trying to act, you're trying to fit into the group and be what other people want you to be. Yeah. We all want the power to change ourselves, right? That's why self-help books do so well. But you can't begin to change yourself in any meaningful way until you confront who you really are.
Our lives are mostly affected by the way we think things are, not the way they are. Poor thinking habits keeps most people poor. Not poor working habits. Most people work hard, but they don't think hard. And Shoaff taught me that the mind is like a factory, a mental factory. And whatever you think about all day long pours ingredients into this mental factory. And that's what builds the economic, social, financial fabric of your life. As you think, so you become.
I'm sorry that you are so mean to yourself. This uncomfort, it's really an uncomfort that just lives in us. And you're so hard on yourself. And I think I used to think that if I wasn't hard on myself, I thought maybe if I was hard on myself, or maybe if I was perfect, well, I expected myself to be perfect. So then I would never was, because it's impossible. So then, therefore, I'm so hard on myself. Took it on myself. Oh, if I was better, if I was perfect, then I would be loved. I'm not perfect enough. I want everything to be perfect before something happens. That's how I am. I want everything to be, look, as soon as everything gets all lined up, gets all perfect, then this will happen. What I'm saying is I'm always waiting for everything to be perfect before I live my life. I'm always waiting for everything to be perfect before I live my life. As soon as these things line up, I'm going to live my life Man, I'm so guilty of that. As soon as you know, this new medicine I'm using helps me, and as soon as this shirt I ordered come in, and as soon as I learn Spanish, as soon as I learn Spanish really well, like I'm a blue belt or whatever in it. But I always want to wait till everything's perfect. You know, Dustin Poirier noticed that about me. And he said to me point blank, he said, "Hey man, you can't wait for everything to be perfect to start living your life. You can't wait for everything to be perfect to start living your life." And that hit me. As soon as I've got it all looking the way I want, I'm going to show up for you and for me.
We come now to the fourth visit, where I shall introduce you to your greatest asset, applied faith. And I want you to remember it is not something I am bringing to you, but it is something you already possess. Applied faith is the mental attitude wherein you may clear your mind of all fears and doubts and direct it to the attainment of whatever you desire in life.
And you can literally create the start of anything. Start to think. And he says, if you choose an idea and you place it in here, instantly and automatically, you move this thing called a body, which is nothing but a mass of energy, into a new vibration. That causes it to act different. You see, the action is caused by the vibration. If you're entertaining a negative idea, and this is the emotional mind, by the way, and you let yourself get emotionally involved in the negative idea, you instantly move your body into a negative vibration. There can be no intelligent action come from a negative vibration, ever. If you're in a negative vibration, the only thing you can attract to you is something negative. Let's consciously and deliberately build a positive idea, get emotionally involved with a positive idea, and simultaneously we move into a positive vibration, everything changes. All science and all theology tells you energy is, God is neither created nor destroyed, is the cause and effect of itself, is 100% evenly present in all places at all times, is all-knowing, is all-powerful. You see, the knowledge that got us into the air has always been here. We didn't just make something out of nothing. And it's all done just through passing something through the medium of the molecule, the no thing. We've always been able to do that. We've just become aware of how to do it. See, a person that's earning $25,000 a year, they're not earning $25,000 a year because they want 25 a year. They're earning 25 a year because they're not aware of how to earn 50. Any person in this room can become financially independent.